Good night, everyone. My name is Katesha.
And I'm Felicia.
Happy New Year, or I should say it will be an amazing year of 2023. When is it too late to stop saying Happy New Year?
I don't know. I say as long as for the first couple of weeks of January. And if you haven't seen a few people that you just need to say, hey, Happy New Year.
Right.
I think it's okay. For
Okay.
the first couple of weeks.
All right.
2, 3 at next.
Okay. I just was wondering. Okay. Well, it's time to talk, guys. And one of my words I will say that I want to share with you is being intentional. Now, I know most people, they start a new year with that first year's resolution or things that they're going to do as far as going on a diet, you know. What's some other, as people would say?
Self-improvement. Goals that people set.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And things that they want to accomplish.
Okay. All right. So let's be intentional. All right. I would not say that this is a New Year's resolution, but the older I get and the more I learn about life is that we have to do things that are deliberate and on purpose, you know, to really, I should say, bring forth purpose in life. And being intentional is one that's been ringing down in my spirit, is one thing that's been a reminder, speaking to my heart, that if you want to see yourself, which is a part of being intentional, right? Because it's an insight thing that God gives us. If you want to see yourself and what your real purpose and the plan and that we have here on earth in life, I have to start doing things on purpose and intentional, you know, planning things out, whether, you know, these short-term goals, these long-term goals, you know, it starts with a starting point, and it starts with you putting effort forward, being intentional, right? Absolutely. Being deliberate, Absolutely. Being conscious, you know, planning, knowing, you know, we don't know definitely where we will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and a lot of, you know, even 1 year from now, and someone will maybe tell you to sit down and write things out. And it does sound like a hard task because you barely can figure out what you're going to do next week. But you know, if God's willing, you will wake up. If you have a job, you clocking in from 9 to 5. You have children, you dropping them off, picking them up. You know, those are our way of lives. But I'm speaking more on setting aside time to make you better, to improve yourself. And that's one of the big pictures of becoming a better version of yourself. That is very dear to my heart. What can we do to become better? And we'll talk about that. But let's talk about really quick with Felicia on being the opposite.
Well, the opposite of not being intentional, a good example, perfect example. You can go to the grocery store and you know you have in mind what you need to buy. Mm-hmm. That's your intentional. But you go up and down each aisle and you will see some things that you do not necessarily need or had a thought of even getting. That is when it's not intentional.
Or the reason you came to the store.
Or the reason why you came to the store. You really just get extra things that you don't need. Mm-hmm. And when you go to checkout, guys, I know you guys notice this. Every single grocery store, every department store, mm-hmm. by the register, they purposely have those things. It's a word for it. I can't think of it right now. Those things are impulsive things to buy. That's the perfect impulsive when you're impulsive. They're there for a purpose. So that's one of the most concrete example I could think of when you're not intentional. When you can go and you can get things on a shopping trip, things that you need, but you end up getting a whole lot of stuff that you don't need. Mm-hmm. So that's when you're unintentional. Another example I would say too is, you know, we talked about plans.
Yes.
Making plans.
True.
I mean, me and my sister, we would be the weekend girls, for example. We know we're going out to hang out, but do we have a real purpose to be out?
A lot of times.
No, we just are hanging out. And it ended up being, hey, you're spending money on this. I'm gonna say waste, but I don't want to say waste, but it's not planned out things that we do, so it's spontaneous. So
it's not shopping therapy. We all have something that brings pleasure. Most women does, okay?
yes.
Not that you again, we know that we need things in our home to purchase, right? But we may find ourselves, in a store that we didn't plan to go to. So, not to name some grocery stores or, neighborhood stores out there, what we pass through. But we may end up in 2 or 3 more stores.
Yeah.
Which was not our intent, but we're there. But what brings to my mind is that that we're being impulsive to do things.
We are impulsive to do things.
When you're operating out of not intent, you have a plan, but you're not sticking to the plan. You end up doing things impulsively.
And it brings me back to why those things come up: distractions. There are so many distractions that we just have in our normal day-to-day life.
True.
If you're a family person, if you're married, if you have kids, it's distractions that always come up. So distractions are there to lead you away from what you need to do. If we're intentional and we're talking about being purposeful with our timing, I believe this is the purpose of this video. We're starting to work on being intentional with our time and how we really use our days as best as we can to maximize them.
To be productive.
So it's to a point right now that we're planning. I know I'm personally planning out, hey, I've got some things I want to get done.
Yes.
So now I don't want to just have my days just wasted. Not to say every day will be planned out to the T and perfect, but being intentional for me now is really just mapping out what I would like to do. If I don't get to it, reschedule it. And really it's just a setting. It's a setting at least to get me on the track because I'm working on it.
And it's a work in progress.
Being
balanced. That's another word that came to me. Again, we wake up and if we have a 9 to 5, we know that we have to show up on these people's job from 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
At the least, right? That's at the least. It's required because that's what you signed a contract to work.
Yes.
Before 9 o'clock, whatever took place, as far as sleep, getting prepared, you're on your job. After 5 o'clock, when you clock out, you're on your way home. You make it home safe. You're doing your daily duties as a wife and a mother. And those things sporadically are not, a lot of times are in order based on what needs to be done. Meaning, you're cooking, kids sitting home doing homework. We can go on and on because we know as parents that it needs to get done, but are we consciously timing ourselves to put things in a time slot, and trying to find balance because really it's very hard to find balance.
Yeah.
And this conversation, this topic is not a short topic and segment because you're dedicated to a 9 to 5, but when you do get off, you want to feel like you're off. But to be honest with you, life never stops. No. We're always at work. And honestly, it stops when you're at rest, meaning when the good Lord call you home. That's when it stops, right? But we're not going to get that deep. Not that deep. Not today. But as a parent, we just need to know that, we have to find time for ourselves. Yes. Find time for our husband. If you're a wife, for your husband. Then the kids, because it has to be in order, and then you bring it on in and finding balance through it all. And being intentional with how you spend your time, when you spend your time, and who you spend your time with. Ooh.
Absolutely.
So that just brings me to say that, oh my God, this conversation has to be a to be continued. Because we spend a lot of time doing things that really don't
waste our time.
Add to being a better version of ourselves.
No, we don't.
We don't. But I wanted to start off with that.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to a part 2.
Yes.
Because this topic definitely is not over. Because really we have to be, very, very aware on where what is it that we're doing and where we're finding ourselves productive in and how we're able to, to help others. That's another thing that I'm huge on because a lot of folks are just selfish into themselves. And I don't know if social media has made us this way or not. I don't want to blame social media because I didn't grow up in a social media era. You know, we did have a lot of sitcom shows that we watched.
Yeah.
You know, that we spent a lot of time intentionally to be entertained, which is just a different way people are being entertained now.
Different. It's the new move in era.
It is. However, we're spending time in making them successful. Watching whomever
we're watching.
Yeah, flipping through whatever we're flipping through. And there's nothing wrong with support, but then you have to look at what are you doing for yourself.
Absolutely. And I would say I am good at it. Good meaning I have social media accounts that I'm active to a certain extent. For example, I don't check Facebook every day. Now these notifications is coming, but I'm like, do I really want to check it?
Yes.
Not today, not today, not today. I ignore it intentionally. And I do have a few YouTube people that I've been following, but literally to sit and watch for hours, it's like, okay, it's motivational because I'm watching what is feeding myself. But it comes a point in time when you have to turn off and apply what you are also taking in.
That's good.
So intentional for me with social medias, I purposely turn them off. I don't turn them off literally, but I just choose not to scroll, to choose not to read every single post, choose not to click on every single notification because it is consuming as well a lot of my time. And one of the other things that I personally been starting to work on intentionally is meal planning.
Well, that's a good one.
This is intentional because I would be the mom to randomly go out like, I don't know what we eating today. We ain't got nothing ready or no meat ready to cook for a meal. So I'm like, well, I guess we eat something on the road. But no, that's been wasteful. It's causing us to really eat unhealthy. So I have been intentionally meal planning for the past couple of months now. I think I'm on month number 3 or 4 meal planning. And it actually is working for me.
It have to be worth it, right? Because after you go shopping and then spend money on the road, where are you saving?
Like, you're not saving. And the food that you get on the road normally is just for that same night.
Just that one meal.
It's really not meals that can carry over. The majority of it is fried, dyed, laid to the side. So all those pounds just
added.
Y'all can see it. I see my Christmas weight. But intentional is the focus for the message today. So just find something small that you could begin to be intentionally doing that's beneficial for you. Yes. And beneficial for you first, because you got to work on you first. And then what you do first for yourself will in turn help the people that you are around. Right. So we're going to end it with a quote. Today is MLK Day 2023.
Dr. Martin Luther King. And he's had so many good quotes, guys. But, you know, the first one that we ran across that fit this moment is the time is always right to do what's right. And it's doing it for you. Yes. Okay? No pressure.
No pressure. Intentionally.
It's for you.
Yes.
It's for you. Do it for you. Okay? Let's be just a better version of ourselves. Let's intentionally work to be better versions of ourselves and applying, okay, these good nuggets, no matter where you get them from, take out, always dissect what is being heard and take out what can make you a better person intentionally.
Absolutely. Take care and make sure that you like, comment. We apologize. We're fixing the link so that you guys can be able to comment and we can see what you're sharing and subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right. Thanks for joining us. Good night.